If you are a parent that is looking to get your child's natal chart analyzed, get your child's natal chart done, I want you guys to keep an open mind when it comes to getting your child's natal chart done, because there can be things and or things that can come up in your child's natal chart that can trigger you, that can clash with your values and your belief system, especially if you have a limiting belief system. So, for example, if you are somebody that um, you can be somebody that's highly religious, right? And let's just say, or not even highly religious, let's just say you're somebody that does not like the LGBTQ community. You feel me? And I look at your child's chart, I analyze your child's chart, and I see that your child has placements, strong placements in their chart that can lead to your child becoming somebody that can be a part of the LGBTQ community, that can be set up for a same-sex marriage and or become trans at some point throughout their life. So if you somebody that have strong religious views or just strong views and opinions about that community, and I say, hey, I see this in your chart. And not just me, I'm not just saying me, but any astrologer that you choose to go to or choose to work with, whether they are on the Vedic side or whether they are on the tropical side. I want you guys to just have an open mind when you are going to those individuals to look at your children's natal chart, because there are things that can come up that can really be, triggering as a parent. Now, am I saying not get your child's natal chart done? Absolutely. I strongly suggest that you do get your child's natal, if that's something that you want to do, especially if you want to use that to help guide your child in certain areas of their life to support them and to guide them. But if you are looking to get your child's chart analyzed to try to change them or to try to control them, that's the wrong reasons to get your child's chart analyzed. You know what I'm saying? So if again, if you have a limiting strong value system or belief system, and again, if you don't believe or you don't like the LGBTQ community, and your child is set up to be in a same-sex relationship, a same-sex marriage, or they eventually go through an identity change, i.e., transgender, something along those lines, and you want to use that information to try to control them or to try to change them, that can be really, really detrimental to them and devastating to them. Because, yes, as a parent, I get it. I have two kids. I have analyzed my children's natal chart, and I've seen things in their charts that, that has brought awareness to me. So I get it. As a parent, we want the best for our children. And it doesn't mean that, just because you don't, your children end up being a certain way, doesn't always reflect as your terrible parent, your bad parent. Where did I go wrong or anything like that? When you have these kids, when we have our children, I'm going to say most of us, I'm going to speak from, as a mother, right? We have our children, and we want what's best for our children. Most of us want more for our children than we want for ourselves. You feel me? Most of us want to do the right thing for our child, and sometimes our children will go down different paths and have lessons that we don't sometimes understand. Because at the end of the day, you have to realize that even though you birthed that child, or you raising that child, whether you a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. When you have a child, yes, you birth them, yes, you raise them, yes, you bring them into this world, and you do all the things to, that a good parent does to raise the children. But at the end of the day, they incarnated here because they have their own soul lessons that they have to learn. Their soul came here to have whatever experience that they came to have. So I'm saying all that to say, if you are a parent and you're looking to get your child's natal chart done simply to try to use that as a tool to change them or control them, think twice about doing it before you get it done. Another example can be, let's just say you don't like a certain race of people, a certain group of people, right? And I look in your child's chart and I see that your child could be set up to be with an individual that is of that race that you hate, that you don't like, or they're set up to be in a relationship and or a marriage from somebody from a different culture or from a different nationality. That's something that you can't change or you can't control because that's who they are, that's in them. That is the lesson that that child is here to learn. So another example can be, that child can have certain disabilities that can come up, or mental things, learning things. It's just so many different things that you can see about your child in their natal chart. I don't recommend getting a child's natal chart done too early. But when the time does come, if you that type of parent that wants to look at your children's natal chart just to see what their soul path will be, absolutely, I recommend getting it done. But only get it done as a tool to teach them, to guide them, and to support them, not to control them, not to change them. Because, I don't, me personally, as an astrologer, I don't like to predict things that are bad or detrimental. I don't even like to use the word bad when I am doing a natal chart reading, because again, we all have our soul lessons that we incarnated here. We came here to learn. You feel me? So, keep that in mind when you get in your children's or child's chart analyzed. I know for me, my son, he's a Sag rising, so I already know he's going to leave. He's going to leave me at some point in his life because that's just how his chart is set up. He is Sag rising. Most Sag risings leave home early, or people with strong Sag placements in a chart, they leave home early. It's just what it is. My daughter, she's a Cancer rising, so she ain't gonna probably leave home no time soon. She gonna always be connected to me, close to me to some capacity, even when she grows up and be grown and live her life. She's always going to be connected to the mother or her mother figures. So that's just a small example as to how to know how your kids are set up and how to accept them and how to support them and how to guide them and how to navigate that. Use that as a tool, as a positive tool, not as a tool to try to change them, manipulate them, or control them. All right? Hope this helps.